In this video, I'm going to show you how to alchemize and architect your offer. I'm John Patrick Muller. I'm a former Buddhist monk, and I've turned my gifts into an online spiritual coaching business, a digital marketing agency, and now I help other conscious leaders like you to grow your business and create meaningful wealth. So today I want to share with you the most important part of your business and the thing that if you just improve this one thing, it has the biggest effect. It's like the lever. You know, it's like a small lever that you pull it and it has a huge result in your business. Okay, so that's your offer. Now your offer is more than just your product or your program, right? So if you're watching this, most likely you have a service-based business, which means that you're selling services. You're selling things that take time. You're doing programs, you have coaching or healing offers. They are not physical products, they require time, and so they're called a service. And that's the kind of work that I've done mostly, and that's what I'd like to help you with too. So if you're in a service-based business and you're selling programs, just know that your offer is not your program. Your offer is how you package your program and how you communicate its value while you are selling it, right? So the offer, think of the offer as like a fancy box and wrapping paper and ribbon and a bow. Right? It contains your program, it contains any products that you have, but it's not those things. It sort of allows those things to be communicated best to the people who are going to exchange money for that thing, right? So your offer is the pivot point of exchange. It is the thing that you are literally exchanging for the other person's money. So it includes all the stuff, but it also includes any communication tactics that you use to allow them to see the real value. Because if they don't see the value, they're not going to want to pay for it, right? So if you can communicate all the different levels of value, all the different nuances of value, all the different types and dimensions of value that you provide, you can put a price tag on each one, and then the price of the overall offer goes up, and that's how you can sell for premium prices. Okay, premium prices isn't just about having things that are worth more intrinsically. It's also about communicating the value of all the different pieces that you provide. Okay, and so that's what your offer does. Think about going into Walmart. This is something I tell my clients. You go into Walmart or Target or some sort of grocery store like this, right? Some sort of store, and you look for products. Maybe you're looking for a screwdriver, or a multi-tool, or baby diapers or something, right? So when we're looking for something, a lot of times the packaging tells us more about whether we want it than the product name itself, right? People use packaging to determine if this product is for me, right? Will this work? Will this meet my needs? Will this give me what I want, right? And they judge the product based on the packaging. Your offer includes both, right? Your offer is what's inside, but it's also the packaging of the program. And people will determine whether they want your stuff based on the packaging, right? Why can a certain brand charge more than others? A lot of times it's the packaging. Some companies spend more on the packaging than they do on what's inside, which is crazy and capitalism and consumerist, and I know, but also it works. And you can either complain about it or you can get on a team where you package what you do right. You want to put effort into your packaging. And when you're selling non-tangible stuff, the packaging is the words that you use to describe it. You're selling intangibles, right? You're selling things that are not physical. And so your packaging also is not physical. Your packaging is words. Your packaging is different layers of language that you add to what you do. Okay, so today I'm going to share with you how to make an offer that will sell like crazy, okay? And the whole purpose of it is so that you can exchange the offer for money, and the other person will essentially get more than their money is worth. So that's one of the keys to making a great offer, is to make sure that the value of the offer far exceeds the value of the money, right? Money isn't actually worth anything either intrinsically, right? The offer, the money, they're not actually it's kind of arbitrarily assigned, right? Money is a placeholder for value. Money isn't actually value, is it? Right? You can't actually do much with money. You can't even really, you could start a fire with it maybe, right? You can't do much with actual money, but it's a placeholder for value. And the same thing when you make an offer, you're making a list of promises. You're saying, I'm gonna do these things for you, right? You make a list of deliverables. They're all placeholders for value. They are promises of specific value that you will provide. Does that make sense? You have to get used to promising value and accepting money for this before you deliver the value. That's how you do business. Business isn't about, in the kind of work that we do in services businesses, you don't get paid at the end, right? That is a recipe for disaster. You get paid up front. You'll attract better clients, and people want to pay up front. If people want to solve a problem, they'd rather pay you now with a promise of delivery, and then you just have to follow through. Okay, so you have a placeholder for value, which is your stack. It's your list of items that you're going to be giving them. And they're giving you a placeholder for value, which is money. And then the society just keeps its promise and honors the money as worth something, right? That's the only reason money is worth something, is because there's an agreement and people honor that promise. In the same way, you need to honor your promise of delivering on the value that you promised to provide in your stack. Okay, so I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, but now you know the importance of the offer. And now let's get into the actual how to make an offer. And I'm going to talk about structure. I'm going to talk about a stack, and I'm going to talk about something that I call so that, right? So structure, stack, so that. Those are my three main points here. And then we'll talk about pricing at the end. Okay, so structure of your offer. I'm just going to give you a simple structure that I used. If you're doing one-to-one work, which is very simple to do, then what I used to do is I would give 10 sessions with 2 bonus sessions and some sort of continuity, some sort of thing that continued throughout the program, right? Such as email or DM or text support. You can contact me anytime. I'm in your back pocket, right? So an offer means that you're providing multiple things that all point towards the same result, right? You're kind of, you can't promise to give them a result, but you can promise to give them stuff that leads them to a result. And you want to give them different types of stuff that all lead towards the same result. For example, if I was working with somebody who wanted results in their business, I would provide inner work support, some manifestation help, some marketing help, some sales help, some mindset help. I might do some of it for them. I might coach them through some of it. I might let them come to mastermind groups. I might let them DM me anytime. I might give them some hours with my VA. I might give them a funnel. I might give them a website or a video editing service, that kind of thing, right? I might give them a retreat or an in-person event. So you see how these are all attempts at delivering them the value that will provide them result. And I offer different types of things so that their mind understands that they will get what they're looking for. People, when they listen to your offer stack, they want to know, will I really get what I'm looking for here, right? You can't promise me results. In a coaching and healing type business, it's very difficult to promise results because the client has to do a bunch of the work themselves, and that's actually more empowering for them, and they'll actually get stronger by doing it. In coaching work, you're kind of teaching people to fish, right? You can give them little bits of fish, and you can give them a fishing pole, you can give them a hook and bait and tackle, and you can even help them find the right ponds. But you're also teaching them to fish because at the end of the program, they will be stronger and more empowered if you help them learn how to do it themselves and do it with them than if you just give them results, right? Giving someone a fish makes them dependent on you, and certain types of business are about giving people fish, and that's okay. That's not bad. But you can actually charge more and you're providing more value if you teach them to do it, right? Now, teaching them to do it has two different levels. You can teach them to do it themselves, or you can do it with them, where that kind of means you're teaching them to do it themselves, but you're doing it with them too, which allows them to get stronger. It's like having handrails that you can lean on. Anyway, so without going too far into that, just to say that it is difficult to promise results to people, especially when you're requiring them to develop their own strength. You want to sort of dangle that carrot a little bit, and you want to provide the guardrail and instructions, but they need to lean on it. They need to step. Okay, so in that type of business, instead of promising results, you're sort of providing different types of value that all lead to the same result. This is what a smart entrepreneur does. You don't just think about your stuff and how cool your stuff is. You think about the results, and you think about the ideal client, and you think about how cool the ideal client is and how cool the results are, right? So we actually have to change our mindset. A lot of us are nerds. A lot of us are artists, and we're nerds. That means we're too obsessed with our own process and our own stuff and our own method, and we lose sight of the client, and we lose sight of results. This is not a recipe for a successful business. This is a recipe for being an artist and being a nerd, right? So instead, you need to flip your mindset to being obsessed with the ideal client and their needs and their wants and their desires and their pain and their satisfaction and their enjoyment, and becoming obsessed with the results that you provide that they want. Your offer is just the middleman. Your offer is like a vehicle. Your offer is a vehicle, and you're going to sell them the vehicle. Now, the vehicle doesn't guarantee that they're going to go from A to Z, but with the vehicle, with a roadmap, with a compass, with a GPS, with signposts, with a navigator guide that goes with them, you can virtually guarantee results. And what you want to do is show them that results are virtually guaranteed. That you're giving them all the pieces required for them, right? Which is not just instructions. It's a lot more than just turn-by-turn directions. It's a whole vehicle, okay? So think of it like that, and then you provide different types of stuff. Instead of thinking, okay, what do I got and how do I market it? A better question is, what do they need and how do I provide it? Okay, so if you think, like, you can start off by thinking, okay, what do I got and how do I market it? That's a decent question to start with, and here's how you would build on it. So you think about, what do you got? What is your special thing that you can do? And who does it serve and what results do they get? That's the first type of question that you have to answer. What do you have? What are your special gifts? What are you really providing? What's the core value that you do provide? Healing, coaching, something like this, some sort of service, consultation, retreat, events. There's some special service. And then you think, okay, who does it help and what do they get? What are the experiences and outcomes? When we say results, think of it, divide it into two categories. There's experiences which are internal, and there's outcomes which are external. Think about both, okay? And think about the type of results that the ideal client wants the most and that they need the most. That's how you start this process. And you may want to pause this video and actually do an exercise where you write that down. Who does it serve? What are the outcomes? What are the experiences that they get? Okay, now when you're done with that, you need to lock that in by committing to that type of client, committing to those types of results. And you have your core offer, your core essence, your core service, and you know what that does. And now you have to ask yourself the second question, which is, what else can I provide that will help this person get to this outcome? That's the second question you ask. What else can I provide? What else can I provide that will help this person get to this outcome? And then you want to think of it. You want to write down. And what I've learned to do is go crazy in a brainstorming session and write it all down. And you eventually will have to cross out certain things. You're like, well, I can't do that. I can't do that. Like, for example, you could fly to their house and live with them for a week or a month or a year, right? That would probably help them. right? But you don't maybe want to do that, so you'd cross that out. But you want to start brainstorming, like, what is the stuff I can actually do that will help them, right? Maybe accountability. One thing I've done is I hired an accountability coach. She joined my program and I gave her like 50% off or something, and she became the accountability coach in my program. And she helped my clients not by teaching them anything new, but by helping them to sort of break their goals into small pieces and achieve them through accountability and that type of mindset support. It was complementary to my program, but it didn't interrupt it because she wasn't teaching strategies that were counterproductive or contradictory. So that's an example, right? Providing an accountability coach. Something I always do is to provide either like a healer or a mindset coach or an inner work coach or a manifestation coach or an energy worker. I always provide someone who does that in my programs because I really focus on the marketing and the business side. And even though I do my own inner work, in these days, I'm not really monetizing that aspect of myself. And so I hire someone else to do that, right? So I'm thinking, what does my ideal client want? Well, my ideal client's a heart-centered, spiritual, light worker, light leader type of person. They want business results. What else can I provide? Okay, accountability. Okay, inner work support, manifestation support. It makes sense, right? And people, when they hear about it, they want my program more because they're already familiar with that type of thing. And it's a really good part of my offer, and it really helps people too. Okay, so those are some examples. Another thing is like, well, maybe I could do a retreat. Like maybe people, like maybe you love retreats. Maybe you've benefited from like doing deep immersions. Deep immersions are very helpful, aren't they? And so maybe you could provide like an online version, or maybe once a year you can do like an in-person version. Maybe you were already going to do in-person retreats. Maybe you're going to do that once a year. Maybe you could provide them a free ticket or a half price ticket. Maybe that part of your offer is a half price ticket to your annual retreat that you do in person, right? And maybe it's still half price because you have to cover certain costs that you have, but or maybe it's a free ticket. And if it's a virtual event, you can definitely give it as a free ticket if you wanted to, right? Free ticket to a retreat. Maybe you're already going to do it. Hey, maybe you already have a video library of stuff that is kind of related to this, but not exactly related. Maybe you can call that a bonus. You're providing something that is complementary that allows this type of person to get to this type of result. That's how you think about your offer. That's the type of question that you ask. What else can I provide that lets this person get to this outcome, this experience? Okay? Workbooks are good, audio courses. Now, something I'm going to caution you with on your offer is, in my experience, you do not have to create new stuff for this. A lot of people, like, your offer is something that you could hypothetically sell today, or at the very minimum within 2 weeks, or the very maximum. 2 weeks max is what I would tell anybody. If it takes you more than 2 weeks to create whatever you want to create for your offer, it is too much and you have to move on without it. And I want to tell you that you do not need it. Here's a little simple tip that most people don't know. A lot of us, when we think about offering stuff, we think about offering digital courses, workbooks, videos, mostly videos or audios, and we decide, hey, I want to offer a digital course. Now, a lot of us don't realize how long it takes to create a digital course, like a good one, in an area of work that you haven't been doing yet. Is nearly impossible. And it'll take you 6 months and you won't even be confident about it when it's done, if you even finish it, right? So here's the thing that most people don't know. When someone's making a buying decision, if there's a digital course included, and it's a live coaching program or live healing where you're getting one-to-one sessions and group sessions, if there's some digital stuff, 10% of the buying decision is based on that. But 90% of the effort required for the entrepreneur is to make that. I'll say that again. So for you, it takes 90% of your effort, of your offer, to create the digital stuff, but only 10% of it will move the needle. It only moves the needle 10%. I hope that makes sense. Here's another way of saying that. your ideal clients have a stack of digital courses that they haven't watched yet. And so when you offer one, they do not believe they will consume it. And so they do not want to pay a lot for it because they do not believe they will receive value from it. You probably have a stack of digital courses that you haven't watched yet. Right? But yet you're here watching this one, but you probably have a stack of stuff that you haven't watched. And probably you're not going to watch 90% of it. And probably if someone were to come along to you and say, hey, I've got a digital course for you, even if you really wanted what was in the course, you wouldn't trust your own ability to watch it. And so for there, you assign a low perceived value because you do not believe that you will receive that much value. It's a very low level of belief in yourself that you will actually receive value from it. And so you do not want to pay much for it. The same thing with your ideal clients. They are inundated with digital stuff. Information is everywhere. It's free, but even like the good information that they have already paid for, they're not watching, right? And they're still looking for results. And so what you want to do is cut through that noise and provide them what they really want, which is in-person connection. Like in-person meaning person-to-person connection. They want coaching, they want healing, they want live groups, and they want live one-to-ones, and they want a live community. Okay? If you provide that, then that 90% of the buying decision is on the live stuff that you provide, right? But it only takes you 10% of your effort to do it. It's very little effort because you're not providing the value up front. You're providing a promise of value. All you need is an outline. All you need is a good plan. All you need is a really, really good plan that you believe in and that you're confident about, that you're excited about. And that plan is enough for them to say yes, and then all you have to do is deliver on that by providing a certain number of one-to-ones, a certain many months of group, whatever, right? So I hope this makes sense to you. Do not try to create new digital stuff because 90% of your effort is going into 10% of a needle-moving decision, right? Again, hopefully my words are making sense to you. I think you probably get what I'm trying to say here, which is that it's a waste of effort. You want to find the 10% effort that provides 90% results. But if you decide to do digital stuff, you are taking a 90% effort chunk that only provides 10% of your own results. And so what I tell people is that if you already have digital stuff created, then include it as a bonus. Call it a bonus or else people will feel bad about paying for it. Right? Call it a bonus because it's free. It's a free bonus. You're just including because you're a nice person, right? And they don't have to be directly related to the program because maybe it's a new program. Maybe the stuff is just similar. It's not exactly related. If you want to sit down and create a digital course, the best way is the standard way is to do a group coaching program first and cover your outline there, let people ask questions, you can record the sessions, and now you have a beta version or an alpha version of it. But then the real way to do it is to take that information and to sit down and to actually create one in one weekend. So if it takes you more than one weekend to create a digital course, it's not the right thing for you to do. It's not the right time, or you've tried to do too much, right? You can do little things like I'm doing right now, right? Take a small chunk and actually cover it in a bite-sized way that only takes you 2, maybe 3 days to accomplish. That's the only way to do a digital course because then it's a stream of info that you create and that you can believe in. Okay, but mostly don't worry about it because people don't actually care. And just promise them groups and one-to-one, and then they'll want to pay you, and then you create your digital thing along the way. Right, one weekend after you already have clients, that's when you sit down and create a good course, actually. Okay? And if you really, really, really want to create something, give yourself a 2-week time limit. Anything that's not done in 2 weeks, you simply cannot provide. Okay? And that's that. And just realize that people don't care. You care because you're a perfectionist, but people don't care. People want results. So you have to get over yourself and just start believing that you can provide results without this digital stuff. You can provide results live, and people want the most result and the least amount of effort. Coming to a live thing is them getting the most result with the least effort. Watching digital stuff for them takes them more effort to get smaller results. Do you see why people don't want it as much? Because it takes them more effort to get a smaller result. Whereas they could come on a live call with you and within a few calls, boom, they get a big result, but they only have to put in a little effort because they basically just showed up and followed along, right? They didn't even have to like hold space for themselves. You were doing that for them. Does that make sense? Okay. So that is some important things about your offer. Now, you want to do in your stack, you have a stack slide, right? And so what you really kind of want to provide are something that's like the core offer. The core offer is like the main thing that delivers results. So there's some sort of core offer that's probably like the one-to-one sessions or the group sessions or both, right? Or maybe just the one-to-one. Now you also have something that's more of continuity. So there's core and there's continuity. Continuity means something that's ongoing, right? You can message me anytime you want for the next 6 months and I'll get back to you within 24 hours and I'll help you, right? It's like I'm in your back pocket. That's continuity offer. That's something that's a continuation, right? The core offer might be, boom, there's a bunch of sessions and maybe the group is continuity. Maybe, hey, I got this group running every week. You're welcome to come. Every week is the same time, same place. And in the group, we discuss this. Maybe that's part of your continuity. So there's something core and there's something continuity. And the reason for that is that we do not want people to judge to sort of assign value to our sessions and to think like, for example, if you were charging $1,000 and you had five one-to-one sessions, now they're like, oh, okay, so you're charging me $200 per session. I wonder if I can get sessions for less than $200 somewhere else, and they start price shopping you. Or maybe your prices are more. Maybe they're like $4,000 for 10 sessions. And now they're like, 10 sessions, $4,000, I'm paying $400 per session. That kind of seems like a lot. I don't know if I want to do that, right? So you're giving them the math to have an objection. So you need to provide something that's ongoing, such as a weekly group, right? You get 10 sessions, but you also get a weekly or a monthly group with me. Maybe we just do a month every full moon or every new moon, or maybe we do it once a month, or maybe we do it once a week, right? And now it's like in a group. And now they're like, well, I'm paying that, but now there's this thing that happens every week. Oh, but also there's a community that I can reach out to anytime. Hey, I can chat with the coach or with the healer anytime I want, right? Oh, I get like, now they cannot price shop you. Now they can't say, okay, well, I'm paying $400 per session, because they're not. They're paying $4,000 for a result. When you provide multiple things all aiming at the same result, you help people to realize that they're paying for a result and not for sessions. You cannot charge per session. It is not a good business model. You cannot scale that. You have to charge for results and provide different levels of value. And ideally, you choose other things that don't really cost you anything. For example, I love doing group stuff and I'm never going to stop. I've been doing groups for a long time, for over 10 years now, and I love it. And for me, it costs me nothing because I love it and because I'm already doing it anyway. And so I let people come to any groups that I'm doing because for me, it's high margin. High margin meaning I can charge for it because they are helpful, but it costs me virtually nothing. And so when I include it, it allows the price tag to go up and the value to go up, but it doesn't cost me anything to deliver. Whereas one-to-one sessions, even though they're high value and I do enjoy them, they cost me a lot. They cost me my time, they cost me my energy. I have to put them on my schedule. There's special things that are scheduled here, right? It is not high margin. Even if I charge a lot for them, they're still not low margin. Does that make sense? They're still not high margin, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Because even if you charge a lot, they still cost you a decent amount. They cost you your own time and energy. So you never want to, first of all, we want to try to not discount our one-to-one stuff. Your one-to-one is your highest level of value that you can provide. It's a high level of value, and you want it to feel exclusive, right? You want to have something that you can call as, this is my exclusive, my thing that makes me exclusive. And then other things can be more accessible. Here's a little tip that you can do. If you want people to see your value more, you can decide that, hey, you know what, I will do one-to-one sessions, like a one-time session. I'll do one-off sessions with people where you just book one session, but I'll charge you $2,000 or $4,000 per session, right? And here's why it's worth it. If you can explain why it's worth it, now they assign that level of value to your one session time. And now when you give them 4 sessions, if it's like one session for $2,000 and 10 sessions for $4,000, plus these other things included with the 10 sessions, now they're like, oh, that's cheap, right? Otherwise, they might think, oh, that's expensive. So you kind of do a price decoy, price anchor. That's just a little tip that just wanted to come out. Okay, so back to the offer. You have core, you have continuity, and you have bonuses. So you have something that's like the main thing, something that's a continuation, and maybe there's more than one thing. And then you also have bonuses. Your bonuses would be anything else that you can provide. Bonuses are usually things that people want but that they don't need. That's the right way to make a bonus. If they need it, then it's part of the core offer. If they don't need it, then it's a bonus, right? So I like to do every 3 months, I like to provide a retreat, right? But it's not something I've been doing a lot in my business, and my clients don't need it because they get results without it. But I provide a retreat because, hey, people want it, and why not, right? But you don't need it. And so by making it a bonus that they don't need but that they do want, I can make it what's called a takeaway bonus. A takeaway bonus means that if you don't buy today or within the next few days or this week or whatever, then you don't get it. This bonus is only available for people who buy either right now or within the next few days or whatever, or during this month or during this week or something, right? That's called a takeaway bonus. And it helps people to decide to make a decision now, to buy now. Okay? So that is a bonus. So those are the 3 things that you include in your stack are the core offer, the continuity, and then the bonuses. Okay, now something really important, and that's the structure. There's a structure to that. But you need to fill in the structure with emotional content, right? Structure is the masculine side, but then there's the emotional side. You need to tell them why they need it. So for each item, you can use the word so that. You get 8 sessions with me so that we can overcome all these limiting patterns and blah, 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 right? You use the word so that, and then you tie it to a result. Oh, you get these groups, you get 3 months of group coaching with me so that you can get X. So that we can help you to manifest your core, whatever, desires. You get to have me, you get to text me anytime so that it's like I'm in your back pocket, and if you ever have questions, you can DM me and get them answered, right? We're doing a retreat so that you can deeply immerse yourself and get fast results. I provide this workbook so that you can work at your own pace at home, right? Whatever, right? I give you 8 sessions and then 2 bonus sessions. And the bonus sessions are so that we can dive deep into these 2 aspects that I like to explore with everybody. You don't need them, but they're bonuses, whatever. So you use the word so that on each of your deliverables, on the value stack, on the stack of things that you are going to give them. On each one, you add the word so that, and then you talk about how it leads to a result. It's a signpost pointing to a result. But which type of result? Which result? Which aspect of the result, right? And you want to paint a picture that you are giving them a vehicle, but then turn-by-turn directions, and then signposts, and then guardrails, and then a navigator, and then GPS, satellite, whatever, right? You can tell them that you have taken all the other cars off the road, right? You've replaced all the deer with fluffy pillows and whatever, right? So like each thing, it might be like directly leading to the result, or it may be one of the fail safes. It may be like one of the things that says like, you're not gonna fail on this, right? We've got you, right? So sometimes you're kind of promising them that they'll get a result, or you're kind of virtually promising them that they're gonna get a result. And sometimes you're saying, we're gonna reduce risk. We're gonna ward off failure here. You're not gonna fail, and here's why. So some of your items lead to the result, and some just reduce the risk that they won't get the result. Okay, and you want to communicate both so that people feel like they are understanding you. Okay, and then when it comes to pricing, I usually do 4 types of prices. I do the actual value, the normal price, the price today, and the payment plan. I always do the 4 types. Now, some people don't do it like this, but this is what I do, and so here's why. I'm just telling you what I do. So the actual value is a big price, usually 4 to 10 times more than what the actual price is. So, it's some kind of big number, and you want to be able to get them to feel that your program and your offer is worth that, right? So I might say working with me for a year is worth $100,000, and that's because if you were to get all this information from other places, you'd pay way more than that, right? I've paid way more than that for all this, and so blah, blah, blah. Or this is worth $40,000, and that's, because if you went to, 40 years of therapy, you wouldn't even get a quarter of the results that I can give you in 6 months. But 40 years of therapy would cost you roughly $40,000 or whatever. And so whatever it is, I don't know the math, but you want to help them to feel that it's worth it. One time I made $41,000 in 2 weeks. And so I say my offer is worth $41,000 because if I can do it in 2 weeks, I believe that you can do it in 6 months or a year. And that's why this program is worth at least $41,000. And then they get it, right? So that's the actual value. Then you tell them the normal price, which usually for me means this is what the price is going to be when I stop reducing it, when I stop giving a discount, right? This is the price that it's growing into, or that I'm gonna make it soon, or that it just was. It's some sort of promise of like, the next time you see me, this is gonna be the price. This is the normal price. Today I'm giving you a discount, but the normal price is, I used to do like $14,400. The normal price is $14,400 for 6 months of working with me. But today, and so that's $2,400 per month for 6 months. But today, I can actually reduce that to just $2,000 per month and make it $12,000 to work with me, right? So that's $12K for 6 months, $2K per month, or a one-time payment of $10,000. So you have the actual value, which is 41, the normal price, which is 14,400, and then the price today, which is 12K if you do the payment plan, or 10K if you pay in full, right? And so those are the 4 prices basically, 2,000 per month or 10K up front. So that's it. And that's it. So that's how I make offers. Hopefully you found this helpful. If you want more help on this, I have a more full course, a more full program that I'd love to provide for you. All you gotta do is click the link below this video to sign up for a call or to come to something that I'm doing, and that way I can share with you the other stuff I do and the programs I provide and how I can help you to personally customize your offer and to make sure it sells and to set up all the other systems as well. But the offer is extremely important, and I hope that you spend time to nail it. It will be time well spent. You could even take the whole weekend to lock yourself inside until you come up with a great offer. All right, hopefully this video helps you, and I'll talk to you soon.